I'll give you a little sequential history of what occurred, what occurred yesterday, what occurred today, and what is planned for on Monday. So yesterday, on our third day of school here in the district and at the high school, it was a really good day. 1,838 students in the building, which is close to what we were expecting. We're having a good day. Later in the afternoon, around 1:30, on the fourth floor, there was a fight involving a number of girls. That fight involved up to 5 girls. It was broken up. The girls were taken to the office. Their parents were being called, and as we do as part of protocol, we were sorting out what had occurred. In the meantime, with the advent and the use of cell phones, people are texting. There was a fight, there was a fight, there was a fight. A person from the community, a brother, tried to come into the school, but with our security, that brother was stopped, never let in the school. The administrative team, other members of our support team, deans, continued to work through the situation, contacting parents, etc. At approximately 3 o'clock, and I think it's important to know this part of the setting. And I'm going to tell you, it was pouring like crazy, and it's no secret that we have a shortage of buses. So on a rainy day, when you should see 32 buses outside, you saw 5. And I'm not blaming bus drivers. It is what it is, right? It is what it is. So more students than usual were congregating in the hall, and it was pouring, and parents, because of the slowdown of buses, were in greater mass in the front of the building. Another fight occurred in the front hallway between 2 students. Again, I believe they were girls. Yes. Ugly, terrible situation. Many students were there because they were coming down to leave, and of course, everybody has their own cameras, and they're videotaping the fight. In the meantime, congested people coming down on a rainy day, no buses, were administrators separating kids. You get to the front apron of the school of which you walked in, and additional girls began fighting. After that was quelled, and that involved 5 or 6 girls as well. After that was quelled and everything was starting to settle down, because of the weather and lack of buses, students were placed in the Performing Arts Center. During the time in the Performing Arts Center, a girl had a dispute with another girl, started another fight. So in the course of those 3 hours yesterday, there were 4 instances. They all involved young ladies. None of them involved weapons. There was one student who was injured, one student who was taken to the hospital, and one student was arrested. The student whom was arrested at the time was the young lady involved in the altercation in the Performing Arts Center, because after being detained and being approached by the police, she continued to display harassing actions and things toward the police officer as well as the school staff. That person was charged with assault and harassment. So that was the one arrest from yesterday. Again, I'll reiterate, no weapons involved, one injury. The person who was injured is recovering fine. We're happy to hear that. The person that was injured was involved in that fight inside the Performing Arts Center. So in total, 4 separate fights, 21 students involved, and that all occurred yesterday between 1:30 and 4 o'clock. In 2 of the 4 cases, the issue around the fights revolved around things that happened in the community. In In the other two cases, that's not true. So that, again, I'm not blaming the community. We know where we are in this community, and it's sometimes this city that we're in here in the high school is a microcosm of the community. So the administrative team was working hard late into the evening to sort through all of that, to contact parents, to send messages to the staff, to send messages to the students, et cetera, et cetera. The 21 students involved will be placed on a superintendent suspension. They will have a hearing. As a result of that hearing, their due process will be followed, and upon recommendation of the hearing officer, I will take a look at the facts of the case and make a determination about their discipline. I want to pause and tell you, however, and I'm not being flippant about remote learning, but if you come into this school or any of the schools and you choose to act in that manner, whether you're fighting or inciting, we will provide you with your right to a public education, a free, appropriate public education. But that right to a free public education does not necessarily mean it will be in this building or any of the other buildings. My reference to remote learning is that we've gotten pretty good at it. And if you want to have that kind of behavior in the sanctity and safety of a school building, you're making a choice to have remote learning. And I will wait to hear all of the facts, but be unwavering in the fact that if you make a choice to have that kind of behavior, and I fully recognize and appreciate that kids are coming to us and everywhere with all types of issues and concerns and anxieties, but that's why we have overstaffed this building with social workers, counselors, administrators, deans. The recourse is to go to one of them. Let me take you from yesterday to today. In preparation for today, the Niagara Falls Police Department had an additional police presence, an additional police presence on top of the 2 school resource officers we have. We had additional staff from central office and other buildings here, and we employed immediately 2 additional school safety officers. A school safety officer is not a police officer. Their job is to keep the hallways and areas safe. That was the first step we took. Second step we took was to have additional police officers. Thirdly, as all students were greeted upon entry into the building, their bags were checked. Every one of their bags were checked. During the course of the bag check, there were no weapons found. But I do need to report to you that in 2 cases, students offered the administrators, I believe, the fact that one person, I have pepper spray. This was not found, this was offered. I have pepper spray, I carry it around because when I walk home from my job, I want to make sure I'm safe, and brought that to the administrator. In the second case, upon coming to the building, this very similar situation happened and said, I have a tasing instrument in my bag, I'm giving it to you. I want you to know I have it because I keep it for my protection when I'm walking from place to place in the city. During the course of the bag check of the 1,600 kids or whoever were here today, nothing else, no other contraband, nothing of a weapon in any nature was found. But I want to be crystal clear, those 2 things during the course of that were offered to administrators and given up willingly before. And to the credit of those 2 students, who I fully believe, they were very upset. They came forward before checked and asked. So I think that's certainly a statement more so on the concern kids have when they're walking home from wherever they work, and a better statement about the fact that they feel comfortable speaking to people in the building. So what then happened is I was here. We were actually having a pretty good day. I took advantage to be the highest paid hallway monitor in the history of New York State and enjoyed being the hall monitor on the second, third, fourth floor. Was actually having a good time speaking to the kids who were very, very nice, but certainly you could see they were concerned and a little bit timid, so we tried to talk to them. Well, lo and behold, around 10 o'clock, this is what starts happening. Someone makes a post that says, and I'm going to paraphrase here, Niagara Falls, stay safe, they're going to shoot up the school. Another post comes, if your kid's in school, I wouldn't be there, it's not safe. Another post that says, good morning, why don't they shut it down? And then the final post comes. And it's a picture of a student with a gun between their legs in a bathroom. And the tile on the floor looks like bathroom tile. And that just immediately gets posted. Immediately it gets posted. And immediately, as kids are looking at their phones, they start seeing this, and what do? They start calling their parents, who then start making phone calls, calling you, calling me, calling Cynthia, what's going on? Well, let me just backtrack again. On top of that, a student reports to a dean, I was on a bus and I saw a student point a gun at the bus driver. So now you have all those stories going on, okay? They're all going on. So obviously the police are here, they increase police presence. Now you start to research back those stories. The picture of the gun between the person's legs is a picture of a gun in El Paso, Texas. Affixed to a Instagram or whatever the heck they do it, and they make it look like it's happening here. It is El Paso, Texas. I'll show you the link. I'll show you the tile in the bathroom floor. You interview the student who says, while on the bus, I saw this student point a gun at the bus driver, and you interview him, and you pull the bus tape, and you pull the student. What? What? Oh, I thought you were telling me I was getting too excited. You pull the bus tape, you call the parent, and the parent says, well, he wasn't on the bus. You watch the tape, and the kids are riding the bus. No one pulled a gun. The boy who makes the claim wasn't on the bus. In the meantime, what does that do to a community who is fragile from things that are happening in the community and fragile from 4 fights? It sends 1,000 parents into a understandable tizzy. Tizzy's the wrong, understandable panic mode. So that is factual information. That is not covering anything up. That is what happened. So in the meantime, because you never know, and things are happening in real time, we're watching bus tapes, we're interviewing students, and we're working with our police chief, who says, what help would you need? Can we get you some help? And immediately what happens, the Niagara County Sheriff's Department, the Erie County Sheriff's Department, the Niagara Falls, I want to make sure I have these credited groups right, the ATF, the New York State Troopers, the New York State Parks Police react by bringing their dogs because someone takes a picture from El Paso, Texas, and posts it with Niagara Falls High School. And someone tells a story about a bus that never happened and thinks it's funny. It takes those resources away, and it causes chaos in a fragile city. That is what happened today. Parents called. If the parents and the school team did an outstanding job. waiting for parents to come, sign their child out, and go. Since we had the dogs, we used them. We felt very confident knowing what we knew, but while they were here, we thought it was a good training exercise, and we thought it would give great assurance to the people of the city and the students of the school to use the 4 dogs to take a search, thank you, of the entire school building, hitting on nothing and finding nothing. So you can see how social media has changed education. At any rate, the third part of what I wanted to explain to you is what's the plan for Monday. I first of all appreciate you being here because I hope the word will get out fairly and accurately, and we'll make sure that that happens. We have the promise of the Niagara Falls Police to keep in a continual presence. We have hired additional safety officers on a day's notice, and I credit our Niagara Falls Board of Education for giving me the latitude to do that. We will continue bag checks. We will also use our metal detector wands where appropriate, sporadically at Niagara Falls High School and at other schools. There is a very important group that I feel has done good things in this city. They're called the Niagara Falls Peacemakers. I'll be attending their meeting tonight at 6:30. I'll be asking for the Niagara Falls Peacemakers to join me at the front of the school and at dismissal time. These are individuals from the community who wear yellow shirts, have relationships with the community, and they'll be joining us here. We will do locker checks often, as we've always done. We'll do bag checks. We will do hallway sweeps. What is a hallway sweep? It means that if you're in the hallway without a pass, you don't belong there. You get in class. And we will, most importantly, continue with next week's Spirit Week activities. And I want to really stress this. There are 1,900 or so students that go here. Yesterday was a bad representation of about 21 students. That will not stop the fun activities, the Spirit Week activities, the homecoming dance, the lighted homecoming football game that 1,879 students have every single right to have. It will not stop that. So those activities will go on as normal. Because the point I want to make, and the difficulty we have, and where this only upsets me, is that we have so many good students in our schools. And you're all here because I know why you have to be here, but it's ill-representative of a group of kids that go to Niagara Falls High School and the other 5,000 kids in the district. But it happens. So let me just start to conclude by telling you, well, why could it happen? Kids haven't been in school in earnest, let's be honest, in 18 months. What we did last year was what we did. It's whatever it was, hybrid, whatever it was. Kids haven't been together. One of the hallmarks of this school, one of the hallmarks of the administrative team and the teachers here is they know kids. And we have 135 cameras in here. We're adding more. We have 64 cameras outside. And the information that we get about safety and security comes best from the students. They don't want this, and they're the ones, not the cameras. It's someone that Mrs. Jones taught at Abbott or was principal of it, or someone that Mr. Villar or Mr. Ventry knew. That's where the information, hey, we hear this is going to, but we haven't had that. That's not an excuse. It is what it is. It is what it is. But when you come into school 3 days and you don't have that chance to really get to know kids and have those opportunities to interact and communicate with each other, you miss that good opportunity. I certainly have not been shy about talking about the bus driver shortage. It's real. We're not making it up. what can we do? What can parents do? You might want to, I'm trying to anticipate your questions. What can parents can talk to their kids and make sure they are ready for school and that they understand. And they can tell their children that there are 200 adults in the building that they can talk to. And if there's a problem, you need to talk to them. Elementary parents and middle school parents can help too. Because the bus plan is this, and this was my choice. This is totally on my choice, is that because we have a bus driver shortage, I want the elementary kids and the middle school kids getting home first. And these folks can handle the high school kids. They have phones, they drive. But the problem with that plan is they can't drop off elementary kids if no one's home. And no one's home, so they can't make their bus turn around quick enough. So that plan has not worked well. So we'll come up with another plan so they can be ready to meet their kids. Cynthia, I just wanted to give you the opportunity to say anything, and then we'll answer any questions you have.
Thank you. This incident that occurred, the incidents that occurred in the building are very unfortunate. And as Mr. Laurie said, they were incidents that were brewing in the community and came into the building. They were students, as he said, that we didn't have a chance yet to connect with, to get to know. Part of our SEP, our School Comprehensive Educational Plan this year, is making sure that every student in the building has a supportive adult. That is one of our goals. Our goals this year are very student-centered. We're coming back from COVID. Our students are coming back from trauma. We have increased our social workers. We now have an additional social worker in the building. We have set up interventions in the form of what we're calling a positive approach to student success team. These are interventionists that have a caseload of students that they're working with. As well, we are starting to concentrate and focus on career pathways. Our students in high school will do job shadows, will do internships in areas that they're interested in so that when they get ready to graduate, they are leaving with more than just a diploma. They will have an opportunity to already have their foot in the door for a career. We are putting things in place. We've changed our schedule. We've changed our focus to students. And so I know that students are contacting me, and their main concern, believe it or not, is, Mrs. Jones, are we still going to have homecoming? Because they want to connect with their friends. They want to connect with the friends that they haven't seen for 18 months, and we are still going to give them the opportunity to do that. The students want to have a positive atmosphere. They want to make sure that they can get back to the business of school, and we're going to make sure that they're able to do that with the help of our staff, and they have been absolutely fantastic. I cannot ask for a greater staff. This morning, when all those parents came into the building, staff members came downstairs. No one asked them. They came downstairs, they stepped up. They said, what do you need us to do? And I give kudos to the parents also because they stood in line. They waited. They took out their IDs. They filled out the paperwork. They signed their children out using the process that we asked of them. And so I appreciate fully. And as they commented, they said, you know, parents have to do more. These are parents commenting. We have to do more. We have to talk to our children. We have to let them know that these actions are not acceptable. So I just want to give kudos to our parents, to our students, to our staff, to the superintendent for supporting us with additional staff members, and to the Board of Education members who came here today, as well as all of the law enforcement folks that came here today, for their support. We really appreciate it, and it's helped us in tremendous ways.
Well, she's 100% spot on, and you're right. It was as parents were walking out, 100, 200, thanks, we understand, thanks, we understand. and you get 2 or 3 that said, "You're violating my civil rights by checking my son's bag." Well, I'm going to do it, okay? I'm going to do it. So you'll have a choice to make. Questions? Thank you, we're done. No, I'm kidding. Go ahead.
You mentioned the community several times, and we know that there's been an increase of violent crime in the community. I'm curious if you think these incidents are a sign of maybe a larger problem in the community, and then on top of that, do you believe that there needs to be a greater focus on the youth in the community?
I'll start, and certainly, Cynthia, I want you to. It's a very difficult time in the community. Very, very difficult. Not just in the community, but in the world, in the state and in the world. And there isn't a student that I know, I haven't met one yet, that doesn't have this, and isn't watching adults and watching discourse between adults. And that discourse is not, and we could disagree, but it's not always pleasant discourse. And when you see that happening on television, and when you see that happening on your phone, and then when you see that happening in your neighborhood, you think that that's the way to do it. So it is absolutely a reflection of beyond the city. And so why did we put 3 extra counselors, extra social workers, all the extra staff? Because we know the kids need it here. And not just here, but in the district. So absolutely there has to, and I'm going to reject something, that there isn't anything, there's not enough for them to do. This building will be open until 10 o'clock every night. Now, on day 3 of school, we don't have every one of the 25 clubs up and running. We don't have all the teams up and running yet, but in a month, you'll see that library filled with chess. You'll see people playing in the sports in the gym. You'll see hundreds of kids in the drama club. You'll see people in our TV studio. You'll see people staying after school for homework. You'll see middle school kids getting a bus over here. They'll be running. I reject that notion that there's not enough for kids to do in the city. There are enough things for kids to do if they want to, and there are enough for them to do in the city, in the school district. Cynthia?
Yes. So the youth here are looking to get involved because they have been at home. They've been on computer screens. They've been on cell phone screens. And that lack of interaction that they have with each other has taken a toll on our students. And so we want to make sure, as Mr. Laurie said, that we have things for them to do, but we want to make sure that while they're doing it, that they can do it and feel comfortable. Our first and greatest priority is a safe and orderly environment.
It sounds like the school does offer a lot, but I'm curious if you would want city leaders to kind of focus on the youth more and push them to do some of these activities and make it more of a priority.
Yeah, go ahead.
I know that we have been a part of what's the workforce prep.
Consortium, workforce consortium, recreational consortium. The city leaders' kids are our kids. They're the same kids. The kids in the city are ours. So they have a big job to do. And I've said, let us do that, and we'll do it. But it's so here's another one. It takes a village. Well, let's go, village. We're here for you. We're here for you. We're here for you. Come on. You want to help? We'll give you a yellow shirt. You could be a peacemaker. We'll train you to do that. You want to help? Come and volunteer. Now that we could use help from. So let's stop saying it takes a village. Let's start being the village today. And let's start waiting for something bad to happen and doing all those things that we do. And I'm not being judgmental against that. I understand the grieving process and sad for those instances. But let's stop saying it takes a village and start acting like one. That's all I would say. Yep, what else?
2 quick questions.
Yep.
Did the student yesterday who falsely reported the bus?
That was today.
Is that student facing disciplinary?
Yes. Yeah. You don't scream fire in a movie theater. You know that old adage. You don't tell a lie. You don't say somebody had a gun on a bus when they didn't. Yeah, that student will face, now, I'm not going to get into what, but that student will face discipline. Just look at the ripple effect of what happened to that student. It tied up police officers, school staff, sent parents streaming in here to get their kids, set a tone for the day. Yeah, That's like yelling fire in a movie theater, and it's not right. Now, those other 4 that I mentioned, I don't know if we'll ever be able to track back who posted those things, but it's wrong. Are we going to stop? Am I going to tell Ms. Jones to stand at the door and collect 2,000 cell phones? I think that's a ridiculous thing to say because it is practically impossible. So would I like to be able to? Of course. You think that's going to happen? No way. I'll have more problems doing that. No way. So that's not going to happen. So we have to teach that ritual and routine again. When you're in a high school, you can have this. You got to put it away and turn it off, and it's a red light time. And if you're waiting for the bus and you want to text or whatever you go on, that's fine. But we got to teach that again. We have to teach that again. It sounds like I should be saying, we're going to accelerate learning here. Yeah, okay. Okay, we'll accelerate learning here. We have to teach rituals, routines, and learning will happen, and those are more important life skills. So yes, the answer is yes.
And then the 4 fights that happened yesterday, you said 2 stem from community issues.
Yes.
Do you know what the other 2 stem from?
One of them I know was maybe a dirty look, a
Yes.
snide comment, a dirty look, a snide comment, an inappropriate gesture. That was the one that occurred in the PAC that I'm referring to, Marley. The 4th one, we really don't know. The administrators are still, I don't want to lie, the administrators are still kind of trying to come to what precipitated that, what caused it. I don't know, Cynthia, if you know.
The one, that was the one at the front
Yeah,
door.
that's the one that's in the World Wide Web posting, I don't know I don't know if you know.
I don't know. I called that student yesterday to talk to her. She went home, and her sister said that she would have me talk to her today to find out exactly what precipitated that.
So that one, we really don't know. We didn't, and to Mrs. Jones' defense and the team's defense, they didn't have a lot of time to do that today.
Just for clarification, the student that's facing disciplinary charges for that post, will they also face charges from St. Agnes Police?
We'll have to talk to the police department. We haven't yet, we figured that out at 3 o'clock, actually. So we'll need to talk to the police department if there's first of all, the age of the student, the proof that we have, and then we'll have to talk to the police but if there is, they will. If there is an available charge, they will. They will.
You said the superintendent was going to move 100%. What about the mayor? What is he doing about all this?
Well, one thing I can tell you about the mayor, and I mean this with all sincerity, the mayor has a lot of work to do on his end. He's very good at saying, Mark, you and the Board of Education run the school district. I take that responsibility as mine. What he is doing is allowing the Niagara Falls Police Department to come in mass here like they did today. So that's all I asked him for, and I got it. That's what I needed today, and I need it Monday, and I might need it Tuesday and Wednesday. And the mayor is supporting that. I haven't asked, nor do I think I need to ask for anything else. The rest is the responsibility of these administrators, the staff, and myself. So the ask was, may I have more police presence in the morning and in the afternoon? And we got it with one quick phone call.
How long are the students currently suspended for? Is it the same across the board?
The 21 students have to have a superintendent's hearing within 5 days. So sometime next week, and they have not been scheduled yet. Sometime within 5 days, which will take us into next week, we have an obligation under law to have a due process disciplinary hearing. At that time, they're free to bring legal counsel. It's not a legal proceeding. It's a school district hearing. They can bring legal counsel if they want. They'll come with their parents. They'll meet a hearing officer. The hearing officer will hear from the student. They'll hear from the school, and we'll take the information, capture it all, add in any other anecdotal information, and the hearing officer will make a recommendation on what they heard about he or she to me, and I'll make a decision that I'll recommend to the school board, and in 100% of the cases, the school board has backed me up. Yeah. So, and I'll let Cynthia take part of it. I was in the building for the day, and Mrs. Jones was continuously on the PA system saying, we are aware of these posts, they're not substantiated, go get to work. In the course of everything we're doing, you know, did we have a press conference? Did we call all the parents? I don't believe we did. We didn't. We will tonight. She will tonight. I will tonight. But we didn't do it in the course of that. And then once it started, it is like it's like a tsunami of people just coming. And as Cynthia said, they're respectful people, and they came in and followed the rules. But we'll let them know. I'm glad. We should show this whole thing because Cynthia and I look really good on camera, and also because our TV station is here. Our school-run TV station. We'll post it on our website, and because I have some control over them, they'll run this whole thing. So they can watch it there, and I'll make a auto dialer phone call to the whole district because it's not just high school, right? We're a school community, and I may have a high school child here, but I also have an elementary kid. So I'll make my announcement to the whole district. Cynthia will be in charge of making her announcement to her families here, and that'll happen later this evening.
You mentioned that more safety officers were hired.
Yeah.
Can you just clarify how many and if that's a permanent increase?
Those are permanent. We added 2 more today. I think that'll bring us, it should bring us up to 8. 8. That'll bring us up to 8. We were at 6. It'll bring us to 8. And if Cynthia tells me on Monday or Tuesday she wants 2 more, I'll hire 2 more. They started today. I hired one at 10:30 and one at 1:30. They're here. They were in the, I don't mean to be flippant, but they were in the pipeline. I said, let's go, bring them in now.
How effective is it making an auto dial call when so many homes don't have landlines anymore?
The calls go to 16,000 families and they go to their cell phones.
How does somebody get themselves added in?
Let us know your number. Send me an email. Let us know your number. We'll add everybody in but Joe Jenko from the Gazette. That's one of the rules. No, I'm kidding, Joe. Well, no, these are not secret messages.
Parents also receive emails.
Yeah.
If they don't have phone numbers, because we do have parents that have phones that don't work, there's many different ways. We have YouTube videos, we have emails, we have Microsoft Teams where we can reach parents, chat with students, chat with parents. There's indicate.
358 days straight. And I'm not boasting, I'm telling you, because everybody says, oh, you're the guy I hang up on. We made an auto dialer call 358 straight days during COVID to report every COVID case. Boy, what is COVID? What is COVID? I mean, your priorities and your concerns really start to change, right? And it's so funny because everybody's got a mask. Where are these people complaining about masks? 0. I mean, I have mine on. 0. Where are these kids that don't want to wear masks? 0. I mean, come on. What, you know, really. What else?
The student who was injured that went to the hospital, any update on he or she?
She has been released from the hospital. Her parent contacted Mrs. Villardo and let her know how she was doing today.
And is she okay, Cheryl?
She's doing much better.
Yeah.
She's not okay.
Yeah.
Was she part of the fight?
No.
So is that concerning, the fact that, you know, you have additional students who just happen to be in the wrong place at the wrong time that end up getting tangled up in outside issues?
That is always very concerning. But if you think about it, that can happen in Walmart. You know, it can happen anywhere. Someone can be in the wrong place at the wrong time.
Yeah.
But it is always very concerning.
And I want to be clear, but I wasn't here, but it wasn't she was just sitting there in the girl. There was
Comments.
there was byplay going on, right? Whether it was a smirk, something was going on. So it wasn't the case, it wasn't the case that they were sitting here like this and somebody went and pummeled them. Something was going on.
She just wasn't throwing.
Correct. What else? We've got another half an hour. Let's ask more questions. If not, thank you. I just wanted to say, and Cynthia did a really good job. The staff here is excellent. You know, the question I asked is, how many people called in sick today? 108 and 200 staff? None. They're all here. And you know, it's disconcerting. It's disconcerting for me. I wasn't here. I lived here for 6 years. it's disconcerting for me. I want you to know something, and I want you to know something about Cynthia, too. I was the principal here for 6 years. My 3 children went here, you know, you were here. My 3 children went here. And if I hope you don't mind, Cynthia's
No, I don't
daughter goes here. I mean, these are our kids. These are our children, right? What do I have? I have nothing more precious than my children. They're pains in the neck, but they're precious. Cynthia's daughter is here every day. I see her here. Parents don't think we're working for their kids. We're working for Cynthia's daughter. Nothing is more precious to her. So it's a resonating point. It should be a resonating point with parents. It's not good. This wasn't good. This isn't fun. This isn't what we want. We'll keep after it. So thank you all. Appreciate it. All right. Good to see you.
Thanks, Mark.
All right. Good to see you there.
Appreciate it. Nice seeing you as well.
You too.